Hey there, welcome back. This is Scott Weinberg for The Horror Show. After a brief hiatus, I am back with another podcast. My top 10 horror films of 2014. If you're familiar with my writing or my Twitter, then you probably know I'm not a huge fan of ranking films. But you got to be able to encapsulate this stuff somehow, so let's just move ahead. Here's ones you won't hear mentioned that are very good, but either they're not horror or they're only kind of horror. And some are just straight out dark thrillers. Big Bad Wolves, Cheap Thrills, Proxy, Blue Ruin, Cold in July, The Guest, and Under the Skin. Now, those were not ranked, and only for you guys am I quote-unquote ranking these. The point is, they're 10 movies that I would definitely recommend. Okay, so number 10 is a film called At the Devil's Door. I like this film a lot, and now I recently noticed that on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, I'm kind of in the minority on that.
We want to get it on the market as soon as possible.
Let's get your home sold.
I mean, we love this house. We raised our daughter there. She ran off with a boyfriend a couple months ago.
She's a great kid, and then just something happened.
Let me help you. There's a girl who I think has been living here. She's with me. There's something wrong with her.
Whatever you saw, or maybe your sister saw, wasn't her. I think it was whatever had gotten inside of her. And I think it was wearing her like a costume.
You're all dead.
I'd be curious to hear what you think. At the Devil's Door, it's kind of a poltergeist story, kind of a possession story. It kind of deals with killer kids. So check out At the Devil's Door. Number 9 is a Dutch film called Borgman, and it's just simply about a strange homeless man who comes to, let's say, invade the home of a well-to-do family.
Zou ik hier misschien even een bad kunnen nemen?
Dat klinkt helemaal niet goed. Goedemiddag.
Ik ken uw vrouw.
Wie is dat?
Goedemiddag. Ik kom me aanbieden als tuinman.
Komt u binnen.
I think it's kind of a cross between Dogtooth and Down and Out in Beverly Hills. There you go. How about that? Check out Borgman if you're in an adventurous mood. Not a conventional horror film, but it is bizarre and has some great creepy stuff in it. Number 8, film from a first-timer named Lee Janiak, and her film is called Honeymoon. It's a strange thriller about a husband and wife who go to a cabin.
So this is the famous family cottage.
What I find most interesting is that this is a film written and directed by a woman. It taps into some fears that I don't mind admitting as a man are pretty terrifying. The person you love has become a stranger to you, and you can't figure out why.
I'm fine. I could be human.
What's going on with you? You feel distant, different. Did something happen in the woods?
Come with something.
You should leave.
You're not safe.
Where did you put the keys? Where are the keys? Who's out there? Who is shining the light?
I want to protect you.
Where is my wife? You look like her, but you're not her.
Talk to me! Tell me what's going on! Anyone tell me what's going on!
Thematically, it has a lot to say. It's a very interesting film.
Something bad happened to me in the woods.
Check out Honeymoon. Number 7, Oculus is a kind of a bizarre anomaly because most movies that center around haunted mirrors kind of stink. Maybe there's something innately dull about that idea, I don't know. But for the most part, haunted mirrors are not that interesting in films. This film, fortunately, is very interesting.
My name is Kayleigh Russell. The purpose of today's experiment is to prove that the object behind me is responsible for at least 45 deaths in the 4 centuries of its recorded existence.
We're just kids. We made up a scary story so we wouldn't have to accept the fact that our father was a sick man who killed our...
Mom?
It's not real. Oh my God.
It helps that it's very well written. The simple interplay between the two leads is just good stuff. Mike Flanagan, the director, brings some real skill to the scary stuff. Low key, but very satisfying horror movie. Number 6, we will go back to found footage. If you liked Chronicle, then you will like Afflicted, which is very similar plot-wise, but it's definitely more horror than science fiction. It's fun stuff.
All right, I'm Cliff Rose.
And I'm Derek Lee, and tomorrow we're going on a year-long trip around the world!
We're going to film the entire thing, and we're going to post it online as a travel blog.
It's going to be epic.
Call an ambulance. Wake up! Call an ambulance! What happened?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't want to stop the trip.
You're freaking me out right now. Just stop. We should be at the hospital.
There is nothing they can do.
Let's just go home.
No, we're not going home. We're not going anywhere.
Most found footage films are clearly done on micro budgets, and that filmmakers can make them decent on a micro budget is impressive enough. But it looks like these guys had a small budget as opposed to micro budget, and it shows because there's some real class and some real polish behind this one, which is nice. Number 5 is a fantastic, funny thriller from New Zealand called Housebound. It is very confident, very funny. It's about a mother and her daughter who are beleaguered by ghosts. The daughter is under house arrest, so she can't leave.
Gosh, that's high tech, isn't it? Aren't you lucky, Kylie, having all that fancy technology on your foot?
Nice being back home.
Some things have happened since I've been here. Things I can't explain.
I'm not the only one who thought there was a ghost in this house, Kylie.
What are you gonna do against a hostile spirit?
I'm gonna smash it in the face.
Director Gerard Johnstone did a great job of balancing scares and laughs. And that sounds obvious. Well, of course, it has to be funny and scary, but man, a lot of filmmakers would be happy with just one of those two things.
Are you happy to proceed with the story that Mr. McRandall was attacked by a vengeful ghost?
Yes.
Righto.
Give that one a shot, Housebound. But my number 4, Ty West's The Sacrament. I'll keep this short and sweet. I like all of Ty West's movies. This might be his best.
We've been to some of the most chaotic, war-torn places in the world, but never for something as bizarre as this.
Welcome to Eden Parish.
You guys built all this?
Father had a vision, and we built heaven here on earth.
The Sacrament is about a handful of journalists who dig into a religious cult and live to regret it big time.
You don't know what's really going on here. This place is not what it seems.
Sam, do not get involved in this!
Please take my daughter.
What?
We can't let him go back to New York. No, this is the last sacrament.
Hey! Hey!
How many more people can fit in this thing?
No, what is that?
Take the camera. I want you to film this.
Number 3 is a very interesting horror film about faith and religion. Nothing Bad Can Happen. It's not a religious film in that it's got an agenda. It's more about how faith can save you and how it can definitely hurt you. It's about a quote-unquote Jesus freak who goes to live with a quote-unquote friendly middle-class family.
Mein bester Freund ist Jesus.
Besonders Kind, der redet doch gar nicht mit dir.
Doch, manchmal.
Slowly cracks start to show, and it goes to some very dark, insightful places.
Denn wer das Schild des Glaubens trägt, den kann nichts Böses treffen.
Nothing Bad Can Happen. I definitely recommend that one. Number 2 is an Australian film called The Babadook, written and directed by Jennifer Kent. A little boy and his single mom come across an ominous children's book.
Where'd you get this? On the shelf.
If it's in a word or it's in a look, you can't get rid of the Babadook. A rumbling sound, then 3 sharp knocks.
Babadook, dook, dook.
That's when you'll know he's around. You'll see him if you look. This monster thing has got to stop, all right? It's just a book.
Multi-layered character piece. There's just real subtle, clever touches in this movie. It's a lot more than just monsters. It's beautiful to look at, too. I cannot wait to see it again. Yeah, The Babadook. Keep an eye out for that one, please. My number 1 horror film of the year, and I probably take some grief for this because some people might not call it a horror film, but I would say that Jim Jarmusch's Only Lovers Left Alive is a brilliant vampire story. Tom Hiddleston and Tilda Swinton play vampires who have had an on and off relationship over generations.
1868, our third wedding. You look so young.
Give my regards to that suicidally romantic scoundrel.
Well, let's hope he's just romantic.
We gotta go. Right now.
Come in.
Is that the really good stuff?
Precisely.
Typo. Negativo.
I protect a secret in your soul.
It's funny, it's dark. I love Jim Jarmusch, and I'm thrilled to be able to put this as my favorite horror film of the year. So there you have it. At the Devil's Door, Borgman, Honeymoon, Oculus, Afflicted, Housebound, The Sacrament, and then number 3, Nothing Bad Can Happen, number 2, Babadook, and number 1, Only Lovers Left Alive. If you have any additions or comments, hit us up on Twitter at The Horror Show TV. And I am Scott E. Weinberg, huge horror nut, and I hope that these opinions are helpful to you. Have a good day.